Hi, this is James from the Hornbill Technical Support Team, and this is a short tutorial to show you how to subscribe customers to a service. So in the previous recording, what we had done is set up a new service. The first thing I'm going to do is go into the service here, just to make you aware as well that this is based on SupportWorks 750 and ITSM 3414. This will apply to any version of ITSM, I believe, above 3.x. So what I'm going to do is go to the Costs and Subscriptions tab, and also to the Subscriptions and Revenues. At the moment we can see that no one is subscribed here, there's no one in the list, and also you can see that from the actual users and projected users, different, so also says 0. So what I'm going to do is go through the options within the add menu. You have add in a customer, organization and department. It's also been logged as an enhancement request to include site to this list as well. So if you wish to subscribe customers in bulk to a particular service, for example your email service, most people will probably using that, so you might want to subscribe organizations, and you can subscribe more than one organization at any one time as well. In this case what I'm going to do is just choose customer, expand that. I'm just going to search for one of my known contacts, Alan Castle, and what I'm going to do is select him. Now you see this little pop-up box here has appeared. One thing I do need to say around this is that one of our most common queries here is, or more incident than query really, is once you select a particular customer, nothing appears after that, it just goes back to this main screen. The reason why that happens is because each of these services actually has a CI record behind them. So there's a record within the config item I table, and each of your customers will also require a CI record behind them as well. That's how they match up. So if this particular window here does not appear, that means your customer records does not have a CI record associated to them. So one way to get around that is I can take you to a script of which we usually send out. If I just minimize these particular screens here, so you'll see this particular script. There's VPME scripts already in your installation here called create organization CI records, site, department, user DB. Basically when these are run, this will create the CI record for your customer records. So you can simply just make sure that this matches up with your current installation, because this may be x86 or it may be the D drive, and then obviously you can just save this as a batch file and then run. So once run, you should only need to do it once, then all of your current records will update, made sure that you've got a CI record for each one. So if you're adding customers manually via your SupportWorks client, these scripts will automatically run. However, if you're doing it through a data import, you should have this particular batch file scheduled. So during your consultancy time of setting up your data imports, this particular batch file will be scheduled just after your actual import runs. This makes sure that every single customer record has a CI against it. So presuming that you do have customer records and you do have CI records associated to them, I'm just going to go back into the service, subscriptions, and re-add Alan Castle. Okay, so back to this particular window. I'm going to select a start date, so I want him from today to go to be able to subscribe to the service. This means that both within the main SupportWorks client and in self-service, this particular service will become available for selection. So I'm just going to go on to apply subscription. You'll see then that the name Alan Castle has appeared in the list, and this means now that I can log on to self-service and see this particular service available for selection. The next stages that you would need to do to make these appear correctly on self-service in terms of being able to request calls against them, I will show you just now how it will appear. Okay, so that's me logged on as Alan Castle. So you'd go into My Services. We can see here the importance of the categories, because this is how it appears on the My Services page. I created it, of course, under Test Category, and as we can see here, there's nothing to select. You'll see on other ones that there's options to select to raise a request. Because we haven't set up that part, that's the reason why it hasn't appeared. So that will be our next steps. On the Subscriptions and Revenues tab here, you've got the option here to create the request form and support form. Usually the request form would be for service request and change requests only, whereas the support form will be more incident related. So to do that, I'm just going to quickly click on create request form. I'm going to select who I'd like the call to be assigned to once it comes through. You can select a BPM process. Now I'm going to go through BPM processes in another tutorial because it's quite a large section. And also you can associate a self-service wizards. Again, wizards are going to be another section on another tutorial. So the main information here, you can get your impact and urgency, how it comes through, and also in the later versions it includes the option to select where you'd like the priority to be selected from. So you can either select it from the actual using the impact and urgency here if you've already set up your SLA matrix. You can select it using the customer selected impact and urgency, or from the hierarchy above using this. Okay, so I'm just going to use the impact and urgency from there and add record. Now you can see that's changed to edit rather than create. The last step you'll need to do is just select this box here to can raise a request against this service. So I'm just going to save changes, and that's all for the actual subscriptions for this particular tutorial. Join us on the next one, which will go through components, preferred SLAs, and how to log calls against them.